Now it's the time that we come to the diagram of circular flow of income model. Here, before jumping to the diagram, we must follow some assumptions. There are four assumptions of this economic model. That number one is that we are reading here a two-sector economic model. That means out of the four sectors, we have to eliminate the other two. We will talk only about the mutual interdependence of a household sector and producer sector only. This is what the CBSE has prescribed in our syllabus. The second assumption is based on the first one that foreign sector is eliminated. We will rule out foreign sector or rest of the world sector in this analysis. It is just to make the analysis simple. In a case when we are eliminating the foreign sector, that means we are making our economy a closed one because there is no connection with the international world, international economy. So with the rest of the world, we have broken our relation, and that's why it is a closed economy now. Coming to the third assumption that says that there is no government intervention in the economic activities. That means we are ruling out the government as well. There will be no government body in this analysis. So purely there are three assumptions, and these are three assumptions says only one thing, that a closed economy, and it is only the mutual independence of household sector and producer sector, and it is just to make your analysis simple. That's it. There's nothing any more logic behind it, because there's no economy where you will find only the household sector or the producer sector. You will always find these four. Further, fourth assumption, very important assumption here, without which we won't be able to carry on our analysis. It says that whatever the income is distributed among the factors of production, that income must be completely consumed or invested. That means whatever you are earning, the same must be spent by you somewhere, whether in your consumption activities, behind the consumption expenditure, or that income could be used for investment expenditures by the producer sector. So here, there should not be any savings. In case if the saving exists, then the analysis fails. How? We will figure out when we jump to the next chapter, or when we will be calculating our national income through the various methods. And there we say that the national income computed from the value added method, expenditure method, or income method. Just recall the phases of the production you studied today in my previous lecture. There you saw that whatever the production or value is added by the producer sector, the same must be sold in the market, and when it is sold, it generates the same amount of income as well. Whatever the income is distributed now, that is also spent by the people or the factors of production. So whether you call it production, you call it income, whether you call it expenditure, the value will be same. And in case if the saving exists, then whatever the income is distributed, the same amount of income is not spent. That means expenditure will not be going to equal to the income, and there our analysis fails. So that's why it's very important to keep our savings constant. Now we will figure out the diagram here. In diagram you are seeing that there are different arrows drawn, and there is a leftward direction and the rightward direction. Here you see that these all the arrows are representing only the two types of flows which we have studied earlier. That is the real flow and money flow. When you are seeing that there is a supply of goods and services, because when the household sector they make the purchases from the producer sector, so there you are seeing the flow of final goods and services from the producer sector to household sector. So that's a real flow of goods and services. In turn, it's very important to show another arrow in relation to it by showing a relation. So you will use the same line. If you are using dotted line for the flow of goods and services, final goods and services from producer sector to household sector, then in turn you must show what money flow is occurring in this model. Here, household sector is making the payments in turn. If they are purchasing, or if the producer sector is supplying goods and services, in turn of this real flow, household sector is occurring a money flow in form of paying for the final goods and services, right? So whenever a real flow occurs, there will be a money flow. In other way, now when the household sector is supplying services, factor services, because we have seen that household sector is the owner of factors of production. So household sector is sending or supplying factors of production to the producer sector. That's again a real flow. The flow of services. Let us take the example of labor here. Labor, manpower is supplied from household sector to producer sector. So producer sector, in turn, it will occur a money flow. It has to pay factor payments to these factors of production or factor services rendered by the factors of production. So that's again uh, in opposite to the real flow. Again, there is a money flow in form of factor payments. And here the concept of circular flow of model finishes. We come to the significance of circular flow of income. The first significance is that this model enables us to estimate the national income of any country. We figured out that whatever the value of production would be in a particular period of time, because production, distribution of income, and expenditure, these all are the flow concepts. So in a period of time, whatever the value of production would be, that value added again is going to be sold in the market, because once we add the value, that means that production or the output is sold into the market. So in market, once it is sold, that means income is generated, and when income is generated, that is distributed through various processes. And once the income is distributed among the factors of production through taxes and subsidies according to the government side, then that income is again spent totally, because there are no savings in the market. Hence, we can figure out the national income in the coming chapters through three ways. One would be value-added method, second would be income method, and third would be our expenditure method. So this is the base of all these three methods to compute national income. Now, next is second significance, that through the circular flow of income model, we know that what is the mutual independence of these sectors, because we saw the four sectors, and what is the mutual interdependence. Here it would be notable, it is notable that we haven't added in this model with the diagram which is given in your textbook. It might not be showing you the significance of finance sector. Between the household sector and producer sector,